Okay, let's talk about something that's really, really important for all of us, either for ourselves or for the people we love: dementia. And we've got to be super clear about this from the get-go. This is so much more than just being a little forgetful. It's a really complex condition, but, understanding the earliest, most hidden signs, that's the first step. So let's dive in and see what they are.
So how does it all start? It's a question that probably worries a lot of us. But here's the thing. Dementia doesn't just show up one day with some big dramatic moment of memory loss. No, its beginnings are usually way more subtle, quiet, and honestly, they're just so easy to miss.
So what are we really talking about here? Well, dementia is a progressive disease. That means it gets worse over time. And it messes with a lot more than just memory. It affects all sorts of cognitive functions. Alzheimer's is the one you hear about most often, but it's just one form. And this is exactly why we're talking about this. Because catching it early can change everything. It can turn what could be a really tough journey into something manageable, It helps preserve dignity and quality of life.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The very first clues, they often have nothing to do with memory. They're physical. These are the kinds of things we tend to just brush off as, oh, I'm just getting older. But they could actually be the brain's first quiet signals that it needs help.
Let's start with something you might not expect: the way a person walks. Yeah, really. We often blame age for changes in how we move, but it can be a direct window into what's happening inside the brain. You might just notice a little shift in someone's walk or their coordination that just feels a bit off.
So our first hidden sign is all about movement. What does that look like? Well, are their steps getting shorter? Are they kind of dragging their feet? Maybe they seem a little wobbly or lose their balance more. Even something like having a hard time buttoning a shirt. Those fine motor skills can be a sign. This isn't just about an aging body. It could be a signal that the brain's coordination center is having some trouble. All right, hidden sign number 2 is muscle weakness that you just can't explain. We're talking about in the hands and legs, specifically where there's no obvious reason for it. This is another one of those moments where the body is telling you something about the brain. And this just nails the point home, doesn't it? A study in the Journal of Neurology actually found that a weaker handshake is linked to a higher risk of dementia down the road. I mean, think about that. If suddenly opening a jar or just getting up from a chair is way harder than it used to be, it might not just be tired muscles. It could be the brain's motor cortex struggling to send out the right commands. And the third hidden physical sign? Persistent trouble with sleep. And I don't mean just a couple of bad nights here and there. I'm talking about ongoing stuff, like waking up all the time, having recurring nightmares, or just feeling exhausted during the day, no matter what. This is a huge red flag because your brain literally cleans itself during sleep, flushing out harmful proteins linked to Alzheimer's. So bad sleep can be both a cause and a symptom.
Okay, so we've covered the physical side. Now let's shift gears and talk about the cognitive changes. This is where things can start to become more noticeable to the people around them, as someone's personality and their whole way of thinking begin to change.
Our fourth sign is apathy, and it is so important to understand that this is not the same as depression. A person with depression feels deep, profound sadness, but with apathy, there's just nothing. It's a total numbness. Someone who used to love playing cards or gardening suddenly has zero interest, zero motivation. It isn't sadness, it's a complete absence of feeling. Sign number 5 is a subtle one, but it's incredibly telling: struggling to find the right words. Look, we all have those moments where a word is on the tip of our tongue, but this is different. This is when someone consistently starts using vague stand-ins, like calling the remote that thing, or the car that one. It's a sign that the brain's language centers are starting to have a tough time. This next sign, number 6, perfectly explains the difference between normal forgetfulness and something much more serious. Everybody misplaces their keys. That's normal life. But finding your cell phone in the refrigerator and having absolutely no idea how it got there, that is not normal. Putting things in really bizarre places is a classic warning sign that the brain is struggling to keep track of recent events.
Okay, now we need to move into some of the more advanced signs. These are indicators that the disease is progressing and the brain's basic ability to process what's real and make good decisions is becoming seriously impaired. So what you're looking for here are patterns of really significant changes. These are signs 7 through 11. Asking the same question over and over, even right after you've answered it. Big personality shifts, like a super calm person suddenly becoming aggressive. Really poor judgment, like giving away tons of money to a stranger. Hallucinations, where they see or hear things that aren't there. Or getting lost in a neighborhood they've known for 40 years.
These are all serious red flags.
Now, I know hearing all of that can be incredibly scary, but a diagnosis is not the end. It's not a final verdict. It's actually the beginning. It's the starting point for a journey that you can manage, where you can take steps to slow things down and maintain a good quality of life. Knowledge really is power here.
So what can we actually do about it? Well, the great news is that there are real, science-backed things that all of us can do to protect our brain health, whether we're trying to prevent issues or we're starting this journey after a diagnosis.
First up, let's talk food. As you can see, there are so many powerful brain protective foods out there. You've got your antioxidant-packed berries and spinach, your anti-inflammatory heroes like turmeric and green tea, and all those healthy fats you find in fish, walnuts, and olive oil. Every single one of these helps shield our brain cells from damage. It's literally about feeding your brain what it needs to work.
And beyond what you eat, it really comes down to 3 key habits. First, keep that brain working. Read, learn a new language, play chess, challenge it. Second, move your body. A simple daily walk can do absolute wonders. And third, think about adding an omega-3 supplement. It's like a protective force field for your brain cells.
And speaking of walking, please do not underestimate its power. Research has shown that just 30 minutes of walking a day can slash your risk of developing dementia by up to 30%. That is an absolutely incredible return for something so simple and so free.
So, all of this brings us to one final and I think most important question. After hearing about these signs and these powerful, simple steps you can take, I want to leave you with this one thought. What are you doing for your brain health today? Because the choices you make right now are building the brain you're going to have tomorrow. Your future self is counting on you.